Hello viewers and welcome to part 2 of our Gamescom coverage. There's the main concourse, literally 100,000 people attending the show every day. Of course we started off the show, we went to the EA conference there was a bit of random dancing on stage, and why not for The Sims? What a bizarre trailer that game had. But of course on a personal front, of course Mirror's Edge, I was just going to say there as well, looking good. Lots of action, exploration and that. But for me, on a personal front, it's all about Star Wars. I'm a massive Star Wars fan and I'll be looking forward to playing that. Shame there's no space levels, has to be said. Hopefully that comes in DLC, you never know. It's more Battlefield than Star Wars in that situation, but I hope that they can bring that through, and I hope the game's as good as it can potentially be. And of course there we see the BMW that's on the show floor for Need for Speed, looking nice. But of course I had a go on Sebastian Loeb Rally. Now I really struggled here. You can see me, I was trying to sort the seat out. The steering wheel was pretty much between my knees and I couldn't move my knees on the display they had set up. But I went with the Citroen there, 2001, looked at what demos they had there and saw Finland. I thought, let's go for Finland. I always loved the speed of the Finnish rally, and just to see how narrow it is this time. Again, early development. The game's been delayed right into 2016 now, and it certainly needs it as well. But either way, you know, the potential's there. This had new physics on it now that's been improved since earlier builds, but I was really struggling with the seat positioning. There was also no co-driver on this build, which when you're playing a rally game, so it's all just visual driving all the way. That's a little glitch there, they're working on that. So there are a few bugs and stuff, but this is very early pre-alpha code. You can see they were never going to be ready in time, so they've just continued working on it, and I'll have some proper direct feed gameplay hopefully in the coming weeks. But while the opportunity was there, I sort of took it to get a little bit of Finland in there, and you can see it there. Handling wise, you know, it's really strange, but I just wasn't comfortable in the rig, and so I was just struggling to just get the car around, and rather than thinking about the handling too much, it's really difficult to say how it feels at this stage. It just wasn't really enough time to get a feeling for it. But if you look at how narrow the track is and how well I was able to keep the car going in the right direction, they're doing something right. So certainly it was playable. But as for comparing it to Dirt Rally and simulation, you know, it was really too early to say. I think really we need to wait until a much later build on that one. So I went my way around, but visually, either way, the frame rate's not good enough yet. It's certainly around 30 frames, but or I say around, maybe a bit lower. But if they can get the frame rate up and continue improving the visual fidelity, certainly coming along nicely. There's some very nice lighting effects in there, and as you can see, very narrow. Certainly going to be a challenge for everyone. I went out wandering the halls. So we're going to have a whole video just of a look at the show floor. So if you didn't visit Gamescom and you wanted to know what the show floor is like, I've got some extended in the coverage part 3 of Gamescom. I'm going to have a walk of the show floor, but I saw the simulations that were there. This is sort of simulator area. Apology for the shaky camera work here. It was a bit awkward getting around. There's a lot of people there, and you can see like the bus driver simulator, stuff like that. But then I saw American truck as well there, simulator, and I just couldn't get near it. As you can see, there's just all these people in the way. It was absolutely baking, and then I was going to film it and the guy just sort of parked and didn't seem to know what he was doing, and it was going to take ages to arrange, so we didn't get to film any more of that. It was just too hot in there. I went back to Forza, obviously disappointed we were excluded from the direct feed sessions, and top man on the show floor, he said, you know what, I'm going to give you a go on this, and gave me an extended run on Forza on the show floor. So we do have some Forza testing every circuit on the triple screen rig, which is good for me because I do use a wheel, so it's important for me to see how it's improved. I'm going to give all of my impressions in that upcoming video, but it was certainly nice to explore these new circuits. Lots of new circuits announced for Forza 6. Some great ones in there as well. Obviously we've got Monza in there, Circuit of the Americas, but there's a few other good circuits in there as well, and I'm looking forward to trying that out. I recorded this with both a standard camera and a GoPro camera. I warn you, the GoPro on the motion rig is a little bit nausea inducing. It's not going to be for everyone, so it will have a little bit of a warning on it before you watch that. That'll be coming up as a separate nausea inducing video, I thought to, in the coming days as well, but it certainly gives you an idea of a rough ride it is on the simulation rig. Wandering around the show looking for more driving stuff, I was told that Kartcraft was there by a few viewers and staff, and I found it. Here it was, lots of people queuing to get on. I wasn't able to get on there. Obviously you can see so many people there wanting to play it. I wasn't able to get on there myself, but I got this footage just of the stand area for you guys, and you can see there. Disappointing there isn't a driver model in there myself. I mean, whenever I see a simulation I think it doesn't look like real life because it's just an empty kart driving around, but you can't tell from this video if the handling's any good or whether people just can't play the game. And obviously myself, I love the idea of the kart simulator in the background there, and would love to have tried it to see how realistic it is, because I'm sure it's good really, but it was just impossible to tell. Again, boiling hot in here, loads of people. Well, I just walked in front of the crowd here and annoyed a few people by getting some footage standing in the way. They all thought I was queue jumping, I think. And we can see they're being raced on the Oculus Rift as well. Pretty awesome in the actual kart rig, it has to be said. That's how you need to play a kart simulator. I'd like to see a good kart racer in there, or even try it out myself, just to see, just to get a feeling for it really, in terms of how it feels compared to real karting. So yeah, a bit of footage on that. That game's been resurrected from the dead really. It kind of vanished for a few years, and then back into the halls. You can see, oh my god, millions of people. And then there was the Skylanders Racing game that I came across. It's like Diddy Kong Racing, but I thought, you know what, we're a racing channel, let's get some footage of every racing game we can. And you know, it looked absolutely stunning. You can see there from the visuals. I mean, yes, it's like Mario Kart, but I really enjoyed it. You know, for me, it's a really nice break from the serious racing stuff we do, to just do something a bit more colourful, a bit more fun. And for what it's worth, I love a bit of Mario Kart. This was a full multiplayer we were playing here with all the other journalists and gamers that were there. Really quite competitive, and found it a lot of fun. So what's great about these circuits is they're so crazy, and yet you always seem to know where to go, even on your first go. So, and of course they have cars as well, obviously, like Diddy Kong, you've got boats, cars and planes and stuff like that flying around. Visuals, as you can see, really nice visuals, got some nice direct feed. That video is going to come up separately on the channel as well. Nice extended videos on that. There'll probably be about 4 videos on it by the time we're all done. We're looking at the karts and the sort of planes and the boats. But either way, something different for the channel. You know, if you're into the sim racing, never fear. There'll be lots of that coming up on the channel as well. Just would be nice, something for a difference. And that's it for this look at the Gamescom in part 2. Part 3 will follow. We'll look a lot more at the show halls, just the crazy amounts of people and other bits and bobs at the show. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.